like that!
Yeah. NFC North Talk. Here we go. It's Friday. Yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome one, welcome all. It is NFC North Talk. I am your host, Russell Wayne. A little bit of football talk, off-season football talk as it pertains to NFC North action right here. Now, I am a Lion fan, but we do invite conversations from all four fan bases as we are streaming live into Detroit Lion News. We thank you guys for letting us use your platform to go live each and every morning. Detroit Lions Villain Squad, what's up? Bill the Packer fan. If you're a Packer fan, you need to go follow Bill the Packer fan, and then Mike the Bear fan. We're also streaming live there as well as the YouTube channels. We appreciate you for subscribing to the YouTube channels as we go through and make it through the painful part for us true football fans, and that is the off season, the lull of the off season. But we still want to have an outlet to talk about football each and every day. And hello to you, each and every one of you that are out there. So this week we've been talking about a few different things. For one, what is the confidence of your head coach in the NFC North? Whether you're a Lion fan, whether you're a Packer fan, Viking fan, or a Bear fan, what is your confidence between 1 and 10 of your head coach and him, bringing you to the playoffs, possibly even winning the NFC North? I have a lot of confidence in Dan Campbell. I think, and I think a majority of the fan base of One Pride fan base feels very confident about their coach, Dan Campbell, going into the 2023 season. But how confident are you in your coach? Are you confident? If you're a Lion fan, are you confident in Dan Campbell? Are you confident in what Brad Holmes is bringing to the roster as far as talent goes? You feeling pretty good about that? Look at that. We got the best wide receiver. The Lions are the best wide receiver, according to PFF, in the NFC North. Yes, that is higher than Justin Jefferson. Not much higher than Justin Jefferson. I'm not going to get too excited about that. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say Amon-Ra St. Brown is a better wide receiver than Justin Jefferson, but PFF said so. Justin Jefferson was 90.3 overall, to tell you how close it was, but nobody else in the NFC North is even close to that. These two wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Justin Jefferson, are far and away the best wide receivers in the NFC North, for sure. And if you're going by these scales, you can't go 100% on PFF, guys. I understand that, but this is when they rank and they're going through every single play and trying to figure out how valuable each one of these players are. This is where they're at right here. You know, if you have a 90 or above, you're elite. I mean, you're all pro. Like if you're scoring that, that is outstanding. That's like almost perfect play if you're in the 90s. Now you're a Pro Bowl type of player from 80 to 90, according to these PFF stats and everything. And then you're a good player from 70 to 80. I mean, that's a solid NFL player. That's what you would really expect. And then really average, which this is where most of the guys are going to fall into, is that 60 to 70 range right there. So I just want to put that into perspective to show you how good Amon-Ra really was last year, especially when it comes to the other things that you do as a wide receiver. We got a couple comments in here. We got an LOL. I mean, you can laugh at it all you want, Tony. That's fine. Thank you for the comment, though. I mean, I understand. I mean, is Amon-Ra, can we even talk about Amon-Ra in the same category as Justin Jefferson? I mean, Justin Jefferson is obviously a better wide receiver. Like, he catches the ball, runs route, and does that thing better. But Amon-Ra, his other skill sets, the stuff that he does when the ball is not in his hand, I think is what makes him so much valuable. I'm not saying that he's more valuable than Justin Jefferson, because Justin Jefferson is arguably the number one wide receiver in the NFL. And that's fair. I'll give Viking fan that. But all I'm trying to do in this argument right here is just, I mean, we want to put Amon-Ra needs to be in this category of elite wide receivers. I mean, can we at least agree there, Tony? Tony Rome White. John Sullivan, what's up, Sully? As a Viking fans, I am very confident in Kevin O'Connell. Just as sketchy on defense. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, too, is we have a bit of that same type of problem here in Detroit, John Sullivan. We are Detroit Lions as the 29th ranked defense in the league. They had a lot of questions to answer, and I think that Aaron Glenn has a lot of questions to answer this year. They put a lot of talent on that side of the ball for the Lions, and Aaron Glenn seems to be like a head coaching candidate. So can he get these guys to play together? That's a big thing, you know. And the Minnesota Vikings bringing in Brian Flores. Now, you can't be worse than the 32nd defense in the league, and that's what the Minnesota Vikings were. So I understand the argument that Brian Flores could come in here with a bunch of young talent and be better than last. And you already know that that offense is going to be good in Minnesota. You have to know that that offense is going to be good in Minnesota, right? I mean, we're not too much of homers to admit that, are we, Lion fan? Tony says, sounds like you are a PFF buff. No, I'm not a PFF buff. I use PFF. I like PFF. It was used against us as having the weakest wide receiver room in the league, or definitely in the North, on Monday night show. And I just wanted to bring up some arguments, you know, that, you know, some of the stuff is, you know, you can use the PFF stuff to work for you or whatever. But when you got players that are ranking in the 90s, Tony, I mean, those are elite players. Any way you slice it right there. And those guys go out there and they show it on the field too. This isn't just numbers. But I like PFF. I like it better than just throwing out stats. I like PFF for the biggest reason is giving stats to offensive linemen and really being able to help me understand as a dumb Lions fan, a dumb football fan. I want to be smarter as a football fan, and I want to know how to grade offensive linemen, and them going through and grading every single play. That really helps me out to understand that we do have some good offensive linemen here too. John Sullivan says, congratulations on the new family member addition. Yes, I became a grandfather yesterday. A grandfather. Wow. That's crazy how time flies. And then your kids are having kids. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I am filled with joy on the inside. I absolutely love the fact that I am a grandfather. I'm like the OG, man. I'm the OG of the family now. Let's go. I'm an OG. I mean, I wish that my mom and dad were here to be part of this, but I have to take that throne, you know. I got to take that throne. But thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. Tony says I can't. I'm a Bear fan. I don't know what we're talking about on there. I don't know if that's enjoy yourself or I don't know what it is with having hope. Can you have confidence in your coach? Maybe that's what it is. NFC North standing. Stay tuned. Bears, Vikings, Lions, and Packers. Okay. I like it. I like it. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's Yali. Yali. Thank you, Yali. I appreciate that. Yeah. I love being a grandfather. Hopefully she gets born into some type of winning for the Detroit Lions. From my perspective, all I've known is losing, and maybe all she'll know is winning. And I would like that. I would like to be able to experience that. My son and I are going to the Detroit versus Baltimore game on week 7, and I'm pretty stoked about that. Seeing Jameson Williams make his debut, and then my son is a huge Lamar Jackson fan, so we're going to get to go to that game. And while we're here talking about family, let me say this episode is brought to you by WTH is Autism. Do have an autistic child. We want to raise autistic awareness. We want to be able to help people understand what that is. And a lot of people have a misconception of what autism is. Oh, I got the wrong banner up there. I apologize. The wrong one again. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can't find it, or maybe what happened. I got to find my banner. There we go. WTH is autism.com brought to you. We are brought to you by them, and they have great information on autism, and it is a misdiagnosed from the outside. Autism isn't something you can catch. It's just a learning process, right? I think the best way to describe it is some people learn like a PC computer. Some people learn like a Mac computer. The autistic kids learn like a Mac computer. It's not like you can train it out of them. You just have to teach them differently. And it is such an awesome journey to raise an autistic child. And if you're blessed to be able to do that, God bless you for that. So, but moving on to the football, putting a shout out, Mike the Bear fan. Thank you for letting us broadcast into your Bear page, and bringing the Bear fans in here. I'm only assuming that's where the Bear fans came from, and we have been talking about coaching, how much confidence that you have in your coach. I have a lot of confidence in the coach. Let's see if we can bring up another topic right here. Going down here to the bottom. See right here. So I think this is an interesting dynamic right here. If you're looking at Brian Flores and Aaron Glenn, I think they're both highly regarded as very good defensive minds in the NFL. Brian Flores was a head coach and arguably, was wrongfully taken out of that position, and still has all of the knowledge to be a head coach, and he's being a defensive coordinator. I think he can do some stuff with a lot of the young pieces on that Minnesota defense. When you look at guys like Lewis Seen, and Booth, I mean, those are young pieces that could, be blossoming in this year. And the Lions too. You got a lot of young pieces, especially on that defensive line for Aaron Glenn. Kaminsky came out last year. Bugs came out. And then you're going to bring back guys like Charles Harris and Romeo Okwara, and then you have Aiden Hutchinson, Houston. All of these guys are like second, third year guys that may not be on the radar, but these guys all have the potential to break out. And Aaron Glenn gets to coach this defense where, you're all out of excuses, Aaron Glenn. You're out. I mean, honestly, you should roster a top half defense. Like, you need to be 15 or lower in the rankings by the end of the year to show that progression, because You did revamp that secondary. Holmes is giving you everything that you need, Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is giving Aaron Glenn every single thing that he needs. You got a revamped secondary. You bring in one of the best safeties in the league, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley, who is known for clamping down DK Metcalf. You know, Cameron Sutton. He may not be a shutdown corner, but that dude has been a solid cornerback piece. You draft Brian Branch. You still got Jerry Jacobs. That secondary is that 32nd ranked secondary has been completely revamped. Completely revamped. You kicking Okuda out. You trading him for a future 5th round pick. You letting Owarrior go over to the Giants, and they can deal with that problem. You know, Deshaun Elliott, he was a good piece last year, but Chauncey Gardner's better. So you've upgraded every single piece of your secondary, your 32nd ranked secondary. I mean, you couldn't have gotten worse. So you bring in some ballers, and you already had a good pass rush last year. That rookie class for the Lions broke the NFL record in sacks. That's crazy. James Houston with 8, Hutchinson with 9. Holy crap. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with the body transformation of Aleem McNeil. 325 pounds. 325 pounds and going into his 3rd year. These are guys that are ascending. These guys are potential Pro Bowlers. Kirby Joseph going to his 2nd year. So I know Chicago fans out there, you guys got some dudes too. The Chicago Bears coming in with the smack talking. They going after them fans. They going after the Green Bay Packer fans. You're saying that they're the worst fan base ever. The Green Bay Packers. This no-name guy. He coming in and talking trash. And that's what they say. They said, like, who? Who's talking trash? I don't mind that they talk trash. That's good. It's good for business. It's good for business. A little bit. Jackson, is that his name? Defensive lineman. I think he had like the sack last year. He's talking trash. He's saying Green Bay Packer fans don't know nothing. Really? You gonna put up with that? You gonna put up with that, Packer fan? You got to get in there. You got to get in there. You know, we have a group that we're affiliated with, and I absolutely love this group. I gotta pull these guys up. If you haven't joined NFC North, the Huddle, I'm telling you, this is fun. A fun group. It's a private group. I'm gonna pull it up right here. Right here. NFC North, the Huddle. I'll even throw a link in here. Now, if you're into trash talking, which we are here, I'm assuming if you're on here, we have good football content in here. We seem, you know, at least from the outside, we look to be pretty knowledgeable. We stay up on the stuff, but good trash talking group right here. You can join this group, and got to have some thick skin. It's okay. It's kind of like our Monday night show. There, I threw that into the chats. If you want to join that group, I get some of our content from here. We're looking at some of this stuff. NFC North, the Huddle. You like that?
Stop playing with us.
You like that? I like that. I do. I want to look in here. I don't know. I'm having a hard time. You're not letting me through. Come on. I want to go to the discussion. No. It says this group is private. I need to go in there as me. Sorry about that. So you go into this NFC North, the Huddle group right here. So Tom Novans says 10 Bears Mafia are at a party. How many clowns are at the party? I don't know. I haven't even heard of this Bears Mafia. I don't know what this Bears Mafia is. I'm assuming it's Bear fans, but I would like to cordially invite, because I like these guys. These guys coming in here, they got some good trash talking. These Bears, they're brand new to the group. You want to be brand new to this NFC North, the huddle? You join that group. I got a link in there. Oh, come on. You know what? I'm going to call Tony out on this. I'm an admin in here in this group. The NFC North, the huddle is BS. They booted you. They didn't boot you for trash talk. That means that you went after somebody personally. And don't tell me that you didn't, because there's like 25 admins in there that keep it football. So what happened if you got booted was you got ass hurt, and you got ass hurt so much that you attacked somebody personally. You used a bunch of profanity, or you said some clown stuff that got you removed, Tony. I'm going to call you out on that, because that group is one of the best run group. It's the largest. It is the largest NFC North trash talking group that there is. And yeah, I'm going to back them up on this and not you. Bears Mafia is not new. They ran away last season when they sucked after 3 wins. I love it. I love it. Oh, Tony comes in. Tony's butt hurt now. Now we're in Tony's head. Tony says that group is BS. Now he's going to throw a temper tantrum. It's not BS. This group is ran well. They don't let a lot of people try to sell crap to you in there. We got a couple of the podcasts that we have in there that we run, but we don't let them go personally at people. Justin Fields currently leads the NFL in fan excuses, averaging a whopping 20,000 excuses made per game. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot of excuses, considering that this quarterback is tracking like Jamarcus Russell right now. That's crazy. That's crazy. But you know what? I'm not going to be dumb when it comes to that. He has never had an offensive line. But that excuse is out the door, because they brought in Nate Davis and, drafted, a first round tackle. So lots of excuses there. So he's not going to have any excuses this year. You can have 20,001. Oh, Melvin's in the house. Bears Mafia didn't run. They were on some internal issue. Okay, there you go, Melvin. I know Melvin. That's Detroit Jesus. So he's coming to the rescue. These Mafia, these Bears Mafia people might be legit. I'd love to have them on one of these broadcasts. Somebody wants to pop in and talk to me. I don't mind. I don't mind having a conversation. Let me see here. Let me pop. I'm gonna throw the link into the chats right here. If you guys want to pop on and have a conversation with me, yeah. We are avid football fans. If you're listening to my voice right now, you have to be a football fan, because, it's like July. No, wait, it's still June. We're in the lull of the off season, but you know what? We here at Main Event, we want to go 365. That's what we do. 365. I don't care about baseball. I don't care about the NBA championship. I am football 365. And that's just, it is what it is. But yeah. Hey, Melvin, you're always more than welcome. I mean, you're always more than welcome. You come on Mondays. I love Detroit Jesus, because his blessings be raining down just like the sun god. The sun god be raining his blessings down on everybody. I mean, what are you going to do about that? I don't know. Probably not much. I think that Amon-Ra can actually have a better season in 2023, because this guy, when it comes to his work ethic, he's one of those guys. He shows up early, leaves late, and it's just built into his DNA to be progressively better, incrementally better, like in the big picture and the immediate picture, which is, they're poised. They're poised to do something that Detroit has never done, and that's win the NFC North division. And yeah, you can come at me and argue that we won, that way back in the day, but that was the Central. If you change the name of your division, then you've missed out on winning that division. So you won that Central division that one time, but you've never won the North. Come on, Lions. We want to believe in you. We do. This city, Detroit is, I mean, if any city deserves to have a winner after all of this time, if you're still a Lions fan after all of this time of getting beat down over and over and over again, disappointed over and over and over again, if you're still here, then yeah, you deserve a championship. You do. You do. I mean, especially if these Green Bay Packer fans, they act like they deserve it every freaking year. Like they're entitled to it because they won the first 2 titles. And there's no entitlement. You got to earn it. But you know, the fans deserve this. They put through. They've spent the money in Ford Field in the Pontiac Silverdome. They've done it. Good morning out there. You know, it's 11:30. We're still in the morning, but I wanted to say good morning. I want you to have a great day. If you can see the sun god over there in the left-hand corner, the sun god has shineth upon you. I guess in the football way, maybe the football gods will shineth upon the Detroit Lions for once. But I don't know. The other teams aren't bad. I like what the Bears did. I mean, did they get good enough to be progressively better? I mean, they picked number 1 for a reason. They were the worst team in the NFL, and they did get better. You know, you have $100 million in cap, you better get better. Come on, man. Go out there, Bear fan. How you feeling? You feeling confident in your head coach? If you love the Bears, then you're going to love Mike the Bear fan. The Bears. The Bears. Go follow Mike the Bear fan. If you like the Bears, if you think the Bears are going to do well, throw a comment in the comments if you're a Bear fan. Oh, man, I got some. Well, look at me going here. Look at that. Tina says, happy 4th of July. All right. Tony says, Bear down for life. Hey, you know what, Tony? I appreciate you coming on here. Even if you don't believe in NFC North, the huddle, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But don't take it out on Mike the Bear fan. You can still go follow Mike the Bear fan. He's one of you. He's one of you. Daniel Sims says, let's go. All right. All heart. All heart, Detroit Jesus. That's right. All heart. Wow. Look at you, Tony, coming in. The Lions suck. Yeah. They suck so bad they beat you 41-10 last year. Whooped that ass. There was really nothing you could have done about that, even with your fast quarterback that can run away from everything. But wow, man, that's fun. This is fun. I like doing this. Tina. Hi, Tina. I'm doing great today. I get to go play. I'm a musician as well. I'm a musician that loves football, but I get to go play a nice little party tonight. 4th of July party with a little bit of fireworks, good food, good people, singing some Bob Seger, some Pink Floyd. What's your favorite out on the lake music? You can throw that one in the comments too. That's a little off topic, whatever. Tony Romo. I say I'm going to start calling you Tony Romo because that's how consistent the Chicago Bears have been, about as consistent as Tony Romo. Lions fans have been drinking this Kool-Aid since whenever. I don't know about that. I had them at 8 wins last year. I thought they were getting a little bit better last year. Still needed some time to develop, but they turned the corner last year. You could see it. You could see it. If you're really looking at it with a football lens, you can see that the Lions turned a corner last year. Roy says, I love how Lions are getting love around the league, but positionally, player-wise, they are nowhere to be found. I'm not sure what you mean about that. PFF shined upon us. Uh-oh, look at this. Just in the middle, we get a little bit of main event Mike talking here. We got, what's going on, main event Mike?
Hey, Russ, can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I'm going to let the people out there decide whether I'm talking to myself or not, or talking to Mike. If you can hear Mike, I want you to put a comment in there and let me know that you can hear Mike too. So how you doing this morning?
I'm doing really good, man. Really good. Sorry I'm late getting on today. How's everything going?
Everything's going great. we're having the conversation, man. I'm running through these comments and we got a little bit going on. I think we have all 4 fan bases represented within the comments, but to me, it looks like I'm having a conversation with myself.
I saw the illustrious Detroit Jesus in the comments.
He was, yes. He's at work right now, or else he would pop on. But it's the off season. We got to keep him entertained, right? That's our job. Are you not entertained? No,
you must be a ravenous fan to be talking about football at the end of June.
I tell you what, and I even told him, I'm like, I don't give a crap about baseball. I don't give a crap about the basketball championships. We know that the Denver Nuggets won the championship, and just because they've never won a championship, like our Detroit Lions have never won a championship, and I think that's pretty cool. I can hear Mike. All right, we got Mike. You are on the line. All right.
I'm in downtown Detroit right now. I just seen a man hand a homeless man $100 bill. There's still faith in this world.
There is. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. We got to go.
He come right. The homeless man go running back up over to the guy. Says, "You must have made a mistake. This $100 bill." He says, "I know. God bless you." And he handed it to him. What is that beautiful? That's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, you never know. You never know. I would always say don't judge that person, because that dollar that you give that person on the ground, maybe it might not change their life, right? It might not make a imprint on their bank account, right? Or it's not going to change their life financially. But what it might do is it might change their heart. They may get sick of sitting there in that sun and that heat, and they may like, screw this. I mean, it's easier for me to go to Meyer and find a $15 an hour job than to sit here and do all this bull crap. At least I'll be in air conditioning making $15 an hour. Like, you don't know what kind of impact you're going to have on somebody or what it's going to do to them. So don't prejudge that person. Just give it with actual love and then let God do the rest. That's all I'll say. I'm done preaching.
Next week, that homeless guy is going to be Demetrius Taylor.
Yeah.
Demetrius Taylor, free agent, cut by the Lions at the end of last year or at the beginning of this year. And now he's been suspended indefinitely from the NFL for gambling.
Another one. They were saying it wasn't such a high priority guy. Demetrius Taylor was on the roster last year. Had a lot of promise. It's a very bad end. It really stinks because it really feels like the NFL hasn't really been clear on a lot of this. So a lot of people are being kind of blindsided with
and it was announced today measures that the league is going to take. Not only are the players going to be subjected to intense scrutiny and the rules laid out for them, but there's a traveling contingent from the NFL through training camp. They're going to visit all 32 teams and sit down with every player of every team and go through what I imagine is a PowerPoint or something about the ills of gambling and to lay it out for them exactly what's allowed and what's not allowed. And the rumor is they're going to use the Jameson Williams suspension as an example of how Jameson wasn't at a team facility, he was at a hotel, right? But that is considered an extension of the team facility when the team has rented it. So little discrepancies like that, they're going to dive into all the details and educate these players on it. And in 2024, I believe we will see zero of these incidents.
Well, yeah, but don't you think that that's a little bit unfair to Jameson that now they're going to explain it very well? Like you agree with this being, I mean, 6 games.
You know how I feel, Russ. I don't feel that it's too hard on JMO at all. There's no ignorance for the law. When you and I are out on the street and we get pulled over, and just because we didn't know that was a law, our feet are still held to the fire about that law. So just because these guys are millionaires who play a game, they're not held to any different standard than you and I are out on the street. And 6 games, we don't know the exact intricacies of what it was or the details of what it was. And JMO has come right out and said he's not going to appeal it. And I believe that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes told him, let's just move right on. Let's put it in the rear view and move forward. So I'm okay with it.
And you know what? I actually agree with that train of thought. whether I agree with it being harsh or not, and I disagree with you on that. I do believe it was too harsh for the first thing. I think they should have laid those parameters out, and that should have been in the first meeting of what they're talking about doing right now. They should say, hey, look, if you do this, you're going to get a 6-game suspension. They did not do that at first. And I understand you can go to the document on page 26, section 3, paragraph 4, where it actually gives the idea of what Jameson actually did to get a 6-game suspension. So I know that it's in there and we should be doing that. And he's a dumbass. And like, I get that.
So far, Jameson Williams, up until today, the most impactful player on any team to be suspended for gambling until today, when a starting offensive lineman for the Tennessee Titans, Petit Frere, has been now suspended for 6 games, and that's going to hurt Tennessee. They're reeling. They're in a dogfight in that division, and losing a starting offensive lineman is going to be tough for them. This might open the way for Peter Skoronski, their first-round draft pick, to see the field a lot sooner and more often.
Yeah, man, that's a man. This is so unfortunate because, you get your roster set and everything like that, and man, it sucks. We got some comments in here, and I'm trying to like compartmentalize them here because they're from a little bit all over the place. Roy believes that DJ Moore is going to make a big difference, and Tony says that the Bears are better than the Lions. Roy says all the Bears have done is added a few linebackers. Who else have they added? They've added a lot of pieces, Ray. I'm not gonna undersell. They had $100 million and they spent like 60 million of it, and they brought in a plethora of not only starters but depth pieces behind those starters. So on paper, it's a great case. A lot of teams make a case on paper.
I believe DJ Moore will have a huge impact in Chicago. And I think he was the perfect choice to get a number 1 receiver there. They got him in a trade deal for the number 1 pick, which I thought was great. They still got the second, arguably the second best tackle in the draft, which is what they needed anyway. I would have loved to see them get Paris Johnson because he's by far the best tackle in the draft, reunite him with Justin Fields. But they were able to get Darnell Wright from Tennessee. And DJ Moore is used to playing with crappy quarterbacks. So he gets 1,000 yards every season when the ball's not always on target. So he might be the perfect receiver for Justin Fields going into 2023.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked having DJ Moore. He's one of my fantasy football targets because whether it's, PJ Walker or Baker Mayfield or the corpse of Cam Newton, like this dude's going to ball out. He's probably going to get 900 and, 10, 12 touchdowns every year. Last year was kind of an off year for him, which is the reason I think that he was kind of a throw-in for the trade. And I think it's a undersell because he went through 3 quarterbacks last year, guys. For him not to get 1,000 yards or to even be close to 1,000 yards. I mean, I really do like that pickup. I want you to be on now, Lion fans, we get so much flack for being homers to our team. And I got Rajneesh in here that says Bears 14-3. Now let's go win a championship. And it's like, come on, guys. We ain't even the Lions that are, we're on the top of the hype train, right? We're the darlings or whatever, the NFL. Ain't nobody saying 14-3 in our entire fan base. We'd be happy to win division at, 11, 12 games. 14-3 from the first overall pick to 14-3. Do you really believe that? Do you? Come on. Really? Henry Ford himself couldn't build the Lions. Okay. He could build a nice car, though.
14-3, he thinks the Bears are going to go.
Yep. But we have no faith in the Lions and what they've done. You have all of these unproven guys that are just going to be in the same room. This is what the Bears are. A whole bunch of great guys on paper. The Lions have a whole bunch of guys that actually played last year and showed progression last year that are coming back for their second and third year, right? There's actual guys that have done it. Plus all of our new hope. You know, we have hope too. We had 2 first-round picks. I mean, y'all just acting like Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell are just dudes. Like, okay. Like, what if they're really good, guys? If you're a Bears fan, what if Jack Campbell is what we think Jack Campbell can be? What are you going to do about that? I mean, there we go. Tony says, hey, Mike, no pride. All right.
No pride?
No pride. Yeah. I mean, he is a Bear fan. I understand why he has no pride. Barry says, LMAO, WTF, who the F is Mike? That's Main Event Mike. He's the host of our Monday night show. Why don't you go ahead and plug Monday night, Mike, since Barry doesn't know who you are.
Who is Main Event Mike? It's what they want to know. Who is Main Event Mike?
Who is Main Event Mike?
I'm the king of Sting. I'm the master blaster. Come on in and get shredded. Every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, it's the NFC North Open, Mike, you 50-pound weakling. Come on in and get a piece. We don't care who you are. It's every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the NFC North Open, Mike. Bring your trash talk, bring your thick skin, and leave with your feelings hurt.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You see, we're even a little bit nicer here on Mondays here. We're nice on Mondays because, you know, we don't want to get – we want to save the hardcore trash talking for Mondays, right? So, but thank you for that. I want to hear some of that, you know, that feel good, Mike. I do. So I got, oh, look, John Dorn decided to make an appearance. I didn't know. I didn't know they let you have a break so early at McDonald's.
Yeah, it's happening, guys.
Live, or is he just in the comment?
No, he's on live now. What's going on, John Dorn?
What's happening, man? These Bear fans are delusional, man. Come on now. They get $100,000 and plus the #1 pick, and what did they do? They really didn't upgrade their fucking team. I mean, yeah, they got Edmonds and all that. Are they really top elite fucking linebackers? No, they're good. They're above average, but they're not elite.
Well, PFF love these guys like from the rating, but you know, I'm one of the guys that believe in progression and the fact that you have guys there that are becoming part of a scheme that are all working together.
Yeah,
you know,
they got way too, yeah, they got way too many loose ends yet. I mean, they got no pass rushers. They got none. That's even worth mentioning. Yeah. I mean, they're just hoping and praying that Justin Fields takes that next step, which I think he will address a little bit. I mean, if he doesn't, there's something really wrong with that team then, not teaching them. But I think he will take a little step. I don't think he's going to take a huge step like those guys are thinking. I think I think he's to the point right now that NFL is actually, I'm thinking, is too fast for him. You got the quarterbacks coming out of college, and the NFL gets too fast for him.
You're talking about Fields, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I think to John Dorn's point, the game is a lot faster and the windows are a lot smaller. And when you're at the Ohio University, you can definitely count on your wide receivers being NFL quality year in and year out. He's throwing to NFL quality receivers at that school. And then when you get to Chicago and you've got second and wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3, all you've got starting for you. He's not been good so far. Having DJ Moore is going to help. Having some help on the offensive line is going to help. But this year is make it or break it. I don't think any player is on the hot seat more than Justin Fields this year. Will Ryan Poles stick with him if they only get to 5 or 6 wins is going to be very interesting to see.
That is a great question. And if you are a Bear fan, Bear Mafia, Mike the Bear fan, whoever's out there, what do you think about that? Throw that answer into the comment because we want to know. I mean, is he on the hot seat? Honestly, I'm looking at Ryan Poles, and I actually like the decisions that he has made in this regard, just because he has put himself in a no-lose situation because, you got Justin Fields through next year on your rookie contract. You have no pressure to re-sign him because he hasn't proven shit. So You can take him and see what he does through this year. And now, since you've traded down from 1 to 9, you have an extra first-round pick that if Justin Fields does not work out, then you got the capital to move up and get one of these all uber talented quarterbacks that are coming out in next year class. And that's actually a giant for the Packers too. You guys are in the same type of deal. You got Jordan Love. You're good with Jordan Love. You're not paying him an arm and a leg. You got him through 2 years if he is good. Yeah. But if he's not good, you can get rid of him for a bag of Doritos and then use your 2 first-round picks.
And it's like, okay, well, people say, oh, when you picked up Love, we had a back-end first-round pick, and we used a compliment that 4th pick that was a complimentary pick, whatever. We used that to get him, so it's kind of like a free pick anyways. We went up and got him. And if he doesn't pan out, it's not like we're on a big loss right now, I'll tell you the truth. It's just like a bridge until we find a different one, you know?
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers only won 6 games in his first season. So they're going. I think Jordan Love definitely has a longer leash than Justin Fields does and margin for error.
Well, to tell you the truth, I have high expectations for him. I expect him to actually get us to the playoffs, at least close to snipping the playoffs. If not, I think it's a failure.
You're a homer, John.
No, I'm not. Wait, just think about it. I mean, this is his 4th year. He knows the playbook back of his hands. He's been practicing with these guys, with Watson and Dubs and DeGuara and all those guys for the past few years. I mean, well, with Watson and Dubs 2 years, but DeGuara for the past 3 or 4 years, or 3 years he's been in. He's been practicing with the ones that almost a lot of times last year when Rodgers was out, even when he took his old man fucking little time out during the week, he ran with the ones. So it's like it's not like he never had time with the ones. He did. You know what I mean?
Okay. So with that being said, then John, if he only musters up 3 wins for the whole year, does he still
get rid of him
again next year?
Get rid of him.
Yep. And that's
he says get rid of him.
And that's the point. And that's the point. Like Gutekunst and Poles both did a good job at not like putting the franchise's future in jeopardy with either one of the moves. You're in a win-win situation. I mean, I would think that you're more in a win-win situation than Chicago is because you actually have him for another year before you'd have to re-sign him. But either way you slice it, it's not smart for either one of the GMs to have done it. It didn't turn out well because even if it is good, you're going to have to pay this guy $50-60 million a year next year. I mean, and it is what it is, right?
I mean, what I've seen so far, I think he's going to turn out to be pretty good, to tell you the truth. I don't think you can't expect him to be Aaron Rodgers. No one's going to be Aaron Rodgers. I expect him to go out there and manage the game good and minus the turnovers and all that. I mean, if he can, he's going to have some. It's going to be growing pains a little bit, especially his first year. But I expect him that by the end of the season, I want to see a lot of improvement. You know what I mean?
Right on. Well, let's see what we got in the comments right here. Barry, Elma, you guys are easy. US, man, I don't know about that one right there.
Drunk,
so far, Justin Fields did they do enough with the O-line? That's the question, right? You bring in Nate Davis, and then you drafted an offensive lineman in the first round with your first pick. You've done some stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just a question of whether they can get them together. Actually,
their O-line wasn't really that bad last year. The way they make it sound like they're horrible. They weren't horrible last year.
So Barry,
they were. They gave up the most sacks of any team.
Yeah, but that's mostly a lot of Rodgers for Fields holding on the ball too long.
So Barry is a Scot. He's our friend from Scotland who is a Packer fan. He's not happy with what he is a Rodgers truther here. And he says, we ain't making the playoffs, 3rd and long punt. He does not believe in Jordan Love at all. Let's see.
He has an opinion.
You mean Brian Cunt? Hey, I'm sorry. This is Barry. You need to understand that word means something a little bit different in America than it does in Scotland.
Yeah,
as I'm reading that live, I was like, I caught myself right there, but I did say it. Brian is a
Aaron / F you off Brian. He's pissed. He's mad that he got rid of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
What, Rodgers going to play until he's 100 or what the hell,
Yeah, but Rodgers was, we were all happy to see him leave. So
was I.
But you shouldn't be. That's
I wanted him gone a year before that. We could have got 3 first-round draft picks.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I wanted him gone.
That's true.
But that's on your boy. That's on Brian Gutekunst.
Brian Gutekunst could have got 1 more year, and then it stuck. He stuck a foot up his.
See, that's your GM's job. Your GM's job is to take the diva guy, Aaron Rodgers, and put him in line. Like if you needed to get rid of him, you wanted to trade him, Aaron Rodgers shouldn't be making that decision. You're the general manager.
He should have been. Rodgers should have been in the OTAs last year and should have been more involved with the rookies, receivers, just like he's doing in the Jets right now. He should have been the same effort he should have done last year. And look what happened. You can blame a little bit on his finger or whatever, blah, blah, blah. He still didn't play good. Look at the Lions.
He's 15 years old, John.
Exactly. He's not mobile.
Hey, Mike,
he's the most accurate passer we've ever seen. He brought a Super Bowl title to Green Bay.
Yep.
If he ever played, if we had a guy like that in Detroit, we'd have statues of him in our front yard. And you guys are so entitled that you just run him off and say, oh, he's trash.
Yeah. Last year, you led the league in drop passes with that accurate quarterback. So how much of that was Aaron Rodgers' fault and how much was that your rookie wide receivers?
Exactly. Well, actually, Lazard was actually one of the leaders. He had 6 drops, and I think Cobb had 4, and they're gone off our team. But yeah, some of our rookies dropped, some especially early in the season.
And that's what the critiquers are going to say, John. Just like they're going to say it about Justin Fields. Jordan Love deserves the same type of criticism because you don't know what he is, and Fields has never really played with any wide receivers, all that. And so when you're looking at this, it's why are you so confident? And yesterday we had brought up the Vegas part of this, which is nobody in Green Bay is betting on Green Bay. That's why that's why they're, it sounds to me like it's a lot of talk and nobody's has the confidence to really go after it, right?
Well, one thing about the players, they hear the noise outside and they're going to prove everybody wrong. They want to prove everybody wrong, but they just got to go out there in the field and show it. That's, until they, I was watching the episode of what guy was talking about the Packers defense. They're soft. Not the players themselves, but they play too soft. There's no offense is scared of the Packers defense because they're just too soft. They play, they're just not playing physical like they should be. Like what they did play, when they played the Vikings, they played physical and they looked really good. But then they go back and they go back soft again. And then they go back and they play soft again. And it's like, you can't be doing that.
Right. So what makes you think that they're going to be different?
I think Barry's job is on the line, and I think the players are they want it. Now they know, they look at themselves in mirrors and say, hey, we got to play better. And I think they will. They had Savage. I seen that thing on Savage over a week ago. Yeah. He said he's anxious to get out there to prove himself that he wants to get back to his rookie year type deal, because he played awesome in his rookie year. And that contract's coming up, so he has to play good to get a good contract. If he wants that money, he's got to play good.
I got to agree with John Dorn on a lot of that right there. Nobody outside of Jair Alexander, there's no one on that defense that you're really scared of. No. The Packers did lead the NFL last year in most tiers in the tunnel with Quay Walker alone.
Don't pick on my boy, man.
And it's a very old adage that the team takes on the personality of the coach. And if the coach is soft, the team is going to be soft. And I think that's a very big attribute to what's going on with the Detroit Lions. You bring in a hard-nosed guy like Dan Campbell, tough guy, and his team starts to look tough. So if the Packers want to be a tougher defense this year, like John said, it's going to fall on Joe Barry. His job is on the line. He needs to toughen up himself and toughen up his team and make people scared. Because for God's sake, they got 8 number 1 draft picks on that defense.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So, Mike, we are up against it. I don't know how much time that you got left, but I wanted you to be able to plug the show, and then and then I'm gonna try to get Barry from Scotland on after you get off of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off right now. Because we're really nice through the week on the phone sessions, but we're not so nice on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time for the NFC North Open mic, where I will shred John Dorn to pieces. So tune in every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the NFC North Open mic. Have a great day, John Dorn and Russell Wayne.
Too.
Peace out.
Have a good one.
All right. So that was Main Event Mike, and like, he's a much better host than I am. So if you
do a good job.
Join us on Mondays. It's at the very, very least, it's a lot different of a feel. Like, this is kind of getting your weekly, your daily juices out right here. I mean, we don't want to talk about baseball. We don't want to talk about basketball, any of this other crap out there. We're football fans. And, we have to kind of put our heads together in the NFC North during the offseason. So we talk a little bit of everything right here. But I'm going to try to get Barry on the phone here. I didn't know. I had to put him the voicemail because I didn't know if I could have 2 calls in at the same time. So let me see if I can get him in here to go off. I need Barry to be able to go off on the Packers here. And I know that you're going to want to argue with him, John, but I'm not going to let you. I'm going to let Barry have his moment in the sun right now. Yeah. Are you there? Can you hear me, Barry?
I'm here, Russell.
All right. I wanted to give you the floor because I know that you're not happy with Brian. You go ahead and do your spiel here.
Right. So I know that I've mailed you and I've spoke that I don't like Brian. Now, John is there. I was on through the weekend seeing some Packers pages, and what I'm seeing the Packers fans are saying, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers choked in the championship games." It was Aaron Rodgers taking us to championship games, and how Brian treated Aaron Rodgers leaves a lot to be desired. It's conduct unbecoming, right? You don't do that to a Hall of Famer. And when Aaron Rodgers retires, he's going to be retiring a Packers jersey on. His name is going to be in the stadium with the number 12 number. And this is what Packers fans forget. I mean, in my opinion, with what I'm seeing, Packers fans are short-minded. I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy. And the way Brian treated my quarterback leaves a lot to be desired. John, what have you got to say?
Well, I see where you're coming from, but there's a point that in his career you got to let him go. I mean, he's not doing nothing for the franchise. He's not getting us to the Super Bowl. We get us to the playoffs and then he chokes. I mean, it's to the point we got to get younger, aggressive, younger player that's more aggressive, that's hungry. He's just to the point. He's just out for money now, I think, and that's it. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers has still got 2 more good years in his arm, right? How they had treated him, not getting him weapons. Now, he's asked for Alan Lazard, Cobb, and a few other guys to go with him to the Jets. That's because the guys that were in the wide receiver room at the Packers are better than some of these guys at the Jets. So he's going to give himself a fighting chance at the Jets. But if Brian had put the same effort into Aaron last year and the year before, as he has absolutely done for Jordan Love this season, Aaron Rodgers, because it's a team event, isn't it? It's a team event. The Packers choke, not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did the choke. Poor play calling, not being able to stop the run, third and long punt, hand off, third and long punt. Aaron Rodgers is a throwing guy. What happened to play action passes?
So, Barry, let me ask you this. Would you, with this new style, I mean, you have two good running backs in Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Now, do you think that they may go and that may benefit Jordan Love with that type of style of run and go into a more run style type of offense?
Play action and
right. We're having to rely on the running game. See quarterbacks that rely on a running game. That's because they're average quarterbacks. Now, Jordan Love, I'm not saying he's average because no one knows shit about him yet. As far as I'm concerned, this is Jordan Love's rookie season. And he might make 5 wins. I'm struggling to see him making 4 wins because the other teams in our schedule are tougher teams. They're better teams. They're more consistent teams. They've got veteran players, you know. So we're going to have to rely on the running game. It's not a case of here's a Hall of Famer quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, or a running game. We're having to rely on the running game because we can't trust Jordan yet.
For sure.
But if you look at that, when we played against the Eagles, he actually threw the ball pretty darn good, on time, everything. So I think we'll be able to play action off it pretty good, and they have a lot of trust in Love to throw the ball out more down the field, especially with Watson and Dobbs. They'll throw, and with Reed, you'll be throwing a lot of balls too.
I don't think Jordan Love's got a long throw in him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He's got an arm on him. He has an arm on him. And he's accurate.
So this is a really.
I'm sorry, Russell. No, I'm saying about Dobbs and Watson. Last year they showed me shit. And even Aaron was calling them out for dropped passes and was saying it at the media conferences, too many dropped passes. And Aaron Rodgers is putting it in a basket for them.
Yeah, I mean, that there's truth in that, but you also have progression. And here's the thing that, I do not consider Jordan Love a rookie quarterback because he's not a rookie quarterback. This guy has been, last year when Aaron Rodgers went on his little darkness retreat or whatever the hell that thing was, it was Jordan Love that was going through training camp and throwing the passes to Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs. It was Jordan Love that has been there in this offseason working with these young guys. So I'm not subscribing to the fact that he's going to be playing like a rookie. He's a 4-year veteran that's been on the sidelines learning the offense exactly the way that LaFleur wants it. So I don't know if he's going to play good, but I expect him to be solid, right out of the gate if he's going to be solid.
Me too.
I need a lot of convincing. I need a lot of convincing in that.
I'm just saying.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. There's a lot of Packer fans, and actually anybody in the NFL is going to be watching the Packers and see how he does. I mean, he's got to prove himself. There's no doubt about it. He's got to prove himself.
And John, look at the effort that Brian did. This great guy, Brian, who I absolutely hate, and I think he's bad for the Packers. You can't run a franchise like a business, as well as to do with the team, right? So he should be taking care of finances. He should be leaving and getting his hands out of the team. It's Matt's team, and it should be Matt and Joe picking drafts. No Brian saying, right, we're going for this guy, we're going for that guy, and we're dropping this guy, and we're dropping that guy. Brian does a lot of interfering, and that's where I have a problem. No GM should be interfering with a head coach and a defensive coach. They should be telling the GM, fuck off.
Yeah, but one thing about, a lot of teams would kill to have Goodens right now. A lot of teams would love to have what we have right now. We still have a very good roster because of Brian. Brian is a damn good draft. He's good in the draft. He's going to miss on some, but all of them do.
Yeah, there's no integrity about him. There's no integrity about the guy. So I'm never going to like Brian. And the minute listen, history will remember Aaron Rodgers far longer than history will remember Brian.
But you know what's going to happen in 2025 when Murphy has to retire? He might be taking over Murphy's job. That would be bad for the Packers. That would be bad.
Well, I mean, this is for uncertainty, and this is where it is with a lot of a Packer fan right now. Yeah, now if a Lion fan knows anything, it's about uncertainty. So you haven't really went through this before in your life, and for us, all the uncertainty has always turned out bad. So
what do you mean we haven't been through it? I've been through the 80s.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess there is a more of a seasoned, I guess. Yeah. So the older Packer fan understands some of that, but there's a lot of this generation, a lot of these kids that were born in like the 90s, they don't know anything but Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers kicking ass. So it's like, but in my case, I just had a granddaughter. So all I've known in my whole life is Lions losing. But it all comes from where you're at in your timeline. I do believe in Lions long term, like not just this year. I do believe in this year, but not as much as I believe in 10 years. I believe they built the core that can last. And I've never really been able to say that before. Now, I've watched the Packers do that. You've had your franchise quarterback. You know what a good team looks like if you've been looking at it. You watch it every offseason. You watch these darling teams come from worst to first and, do good for a minute and then fall back down. And the Lions have been that team a couple of times, but they've never built it in the correct way. You got to build from the inside out if you want to beat the good teams. That's what you guys ran into. The NFC championships, all these really, really good, high-powered offensive Green Bay teams, what they did, they ran into a team that could stand up to them. San Francisco 49, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't do shit to you guys. Throw 6 passes. How you throw 6 passes and win?
Last year, when we played the last game, we played against the Lions. When we played against the Lions, Goff couldn't do nothing against us. Your running game was what got us.
But it's not even the running game. It's the offensive lineman versus your defensive lineman. They were pushing you out of the way. They were winning the line of scrimmage. Like, I could have ran for 100 yards against you guys. He wasn't even getting touched for 5-6 yards down the field.
Well, hopefully with Gary coming back and a few other pieces that we brought in, hopefully that'd be all fixed. But I like to bring that Sheet Harrison. He's a defensive tackle. He's really good against the run. I like to bring him in just because give Wyatt, have between him and Wyatt, go back and forth.
Oh man, somebody can't hear us. I don't know.
When there's seconds left on the clock in the games this season, there's not going to be a long throw by Jordan Love. This is where Aaron Rodgers comes into his own because he's the best in the game, the greatest thrower of the ball. And are we saying that Jordan Love, when there's like 30 seconds left on the clock, relying to get a field goal to either win the game or to take it into overtime? I'm not buying into Jordan Love. I don't see it.
So hold on a second here, Barry. Hey, can everybody hear us? I need somebody to throw a comment in because if we're just talking to the air right here, I don't know if this is a messenger audio thing, but if you can't hear us, I
can hear it.
Because if we're just talking to the air right okay, here, cool. All right, I appreciate that. Cool. All right, thank you, Calvin. That's cool. We had to figure that out. Urel Jackson came in, said couldn't hear us all, but it might have been while we were transferring over and getting the call in, because every once in a while we call this the phone session. Oh, you can't hear Barry, so he's not coming through.
That's all right, because I talk shit anyway.
He was talking shit anyway. He was talking shit. I don't know, Barry, how we're gonna have to do this. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get your phone number.
Barry, talk again. I can hear him.
Yeah, Barry's fine. Okay. How we're gonna have to do this? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to. I can hear Dorn. Tom Novan says I can hear Dorn, but but that sucks.
I'll leave the call, mate. I'll leave the call, pal.
Okay. Hey, it was great having you on here, Barry. Give me a call, brother.
Hey, have a good one, Barry.
Peace.
Cheers.
Oh my gosh. I hope I didn't just hang up on him.
You got Packer fans like that. They're mad at Goods for getting rid of Rodgers, and they're not fully into Love yet, and it's just Love has got to go out there and win these guys over.
Well,
That's
it's
all he can
split.
do. Yeah,
it's split, and that's the thing that what I'm talking about. You guys have never really had to deal with that before, and Tom Novans can do this. We've had the Lions fans have been split. You got a bunch of SOL fans that are like, "Hey, sell the team, the Forge. You're never going to do anything with this team."
Ram fans,
and then you got the super duper optimistic fans that it doesn't matter who they get. Their 7th round draft pick is going to be the next biggest best thing, and it's like, come on, man. And then you got these in the middle guys like me, where I look at football. I love football, and I look at all 4 teams, and I actually live vicariously through all 4 teams. But when I look at the Lions and how they're building it now, it's weird for me because I'm looking at the Lions do good stuff. And
they're actually getting good depth too. They're getting good depth. That's what I like about the Lions. They're getting good depth.
That's the strength of the team. You know what? I gotta get. Oh, Tom wants to call in. Oh, shoot.
And it's like the Bears. They don't got no depth. The Vikings don't got no depth. The Lions definitely got depth, and Packers got depth. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna throw. Wait, you think that you? Oh yeah, you guys have depth. I thought that your defense was really really good last year, and they came on after starting really bad. Like
towards the end of the season, they played pretty good, but not as good as I want them to do.
I'm sending Tom Novans my personal phone number in the messenger because I definitely don't want to show it to all these people are out here. Holy crap! I don't know what kind of phone calls I'd be getting if I put my phone number out there like that. I don't know. But Tom, I got you hooked up, man. I sent you my number, and let me make sure I got the right one.
Talk to Bill how he has his across the screen, and you put the number up there.
Yeah, but he has a Google Voice. I can do that because I can. See, I have to answer that before I get hit with the copyright. Yeah. What is going on? Is this Tom?
It is.
Hey,
Russell, how are you?
How's it going, Tom?
And then there's John Dorn.
How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
How's it going, man?
All right, I have a question for you. Last year, the Minnesota Vikings, they won the division. This year, their fans, rightfully so, they're pumped. They think they can win it again. I want you to both discuss and look at the positive and the negative. Tell me, how did the Minnesota Vikings get better this offseason and why they can win the division and why they won't win the division? But I'm specifically looking, I want to hear discussions on how they got better. How did they get better this offseason to take the next step? I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Oh, that's a great question. And here's the way that I'm going to handle this. I know that you want to be mostly negative on this, so I'll let you go first and I'll let you empty it out, and then I will close it out because I actually do have a positive take on these guys. So I'll let you go first. Go ahead, John.
Well, for one thing, they lost way too many pieces on defense. I mean, them bringing another new coordinator in is fine and dandy, but if you don't got nothing to work with, it's going to take time. They're in a rebuild mode. I don't care what everybody thinks. Like their offense is still going to be pretty good. I mean, them losing Cook, I mean, sure it's going to drop a little bit, but I think over and all, they're going to win games, but I don't think they're going to go win 13. I think they'll go more towards like maybe 8, 9, 10 at the most. I mean, that's if their defense actually plays halfway decent. But
wow. Okay. Well, I thought you were going to go in a different spot there. So maybe I get to tee off on these guys just a little bit. Yeah. So I do not believe in the Minnesota Viking hype train at all. I think you lost way too much on offense, and you are expecting way too much out of Brian Flores to bail you out. Now, if it does work, that means that Brian Flores is a defensive genius, and he was able to come in and take guys like Lewis Seen, who were first-year guys from last year, in Booth, and turn around the worst defense by getting rid of all your talent, which is unheard of. I don't know how your mind works, how you can have Kwesi get rid of all your talent and draft picks, and you would just expect the defensive coordinator to come in and fix it. But that's what'll happen if you are successful. You lost Delvin Cook and you act like it's no big loss. Like, nobody's sticking 8 in a box for Alexander frickin' Madison, okay? So it's going to be harder for Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson to get open because they don't have to really defend that. Now, if it works, that just means that they are able to get a run game with their three-headed monster. So I don't think it's going to work. I don't think Minnesota Vikings are going to be able to win a game in the division. I think they're going to get straight swept. 2 L's to the Bears, 2 L's to the Lions, 2 L's to the Green Bay Packers. And that's just kind of the way that I feel about it. Worst to first, Minnesota Vikings.
Wow. Yeah.
I kind of gave them a little bit of props of what they could have done, right?
Last year when Booth and Steen actually, when they were playing, they didn't really play that good. But they were rookies, though. But what I seen out of them, they didn't play that good before they got hurt.
Well, they got worse. It's like where you can look at where we can agree on this, the Lions and the Packers, where you can look at the first half of the season and then see a noticeable progression from the first half of the season to the second half of the season, where in Minnesota you see them way up here at the beginning of the season, and then you could see the obvious regression by the end of the year.
Well, that's like the Bears too. The last 10 games, they didn't show any aggression at all. They just looked horrible all through 10 games. I mean, when they lost like by 85 to 100 and some points or something like that. I seen today or something like that.
Right.
And so even the Bears, I think they'll be better than last year, but
but they won 3 games. 6 games is better. They can win. They can go 6-11 and be better.
I got them about 6-7 wins. I got us anywhere from 8 to 10. I got Lions probably 9 to 11, and I got Vikings probably. I'm saying 6 to 8.
I believe everything. I have the Lions at 10 to 13 because I believe I can't look at that team and say it's not better. And they were at 9 wins. So I can't say, I would say the floor, I will be disappointed if they only win 9 games. They better.
I don't know. I think you guys still had a lucky fluky.
I mean, maybe it is lucky fluke, but maybe a whole bunch of these guys are going to progress, man. That's what you're wanting. Could you imagine like Christian Watson, right? Christian Watson and Dobbs both breaking out at the same time. Like this, we have the same hope in our second and third year guys as you guys do.
I'm looking forward to see that Houston of yours, that pass rusher. I mean, he really turned it on towards the end of the season when he came off his injury. He turned it up, man. It's like, holy shit, Houston, you got a problem here, you know.
Calvin says, I remember Lions team having talent, but no depth at times, and that cost us in the past. That is the biggest difference, Calvin. And this team and Lions teams past, this Lions team is deep from 1 to 53, and actually beyond. Our practice squad, we had contributions from our practice squad that helped us win games, like clutch catches from Tom Kennedy. Who? Tom Kennedy. Like, we had guys that were coming up that just knew because they're all practicing, and it's a amazingly deep team. When you think of next man up, that's what you're talking about. The next dude that comes up, who's that guy? I don't know, but he knows what's going on, and he just steps in and picks up right where the last guy left off.
And then when you guys went and got Hooker on the 3rd round, I thought that was a smart move by you guys. One thing, it kind of put Goff, he's got to look over his shoulder, so he's got to keep up his game. And Hooker, I liked him when he coming out of college. I mean, that was a smart move by you guys getting him.
Yeah, and that's what you have when you have a GM that's thinking not only like laterally, but you're thinking forward too, because Goff is more. I mean, whatever anybody wants to think of how goofy he is a goofy looking dude. Like, I remember my first experience with football was actually with the Cleveland Browns when I was 11 years old. I grew up in Ohio, so all of my family were Browns fans, and the AFC Championship. And they had this quarterback named Bernie Kosar. And they had a great offensive line in Cleveland. And when this guy would try to run or do anything, he had zero mobility, but he was so accurate. You could always count on him that if you kept him clean, that he would be a field general. And I see a lot of that in Goff. I think Goff is kind of goofy. You never want to see him escape in the pocket and run. You're like, oh shit, don't just fall down, please. Don't do anything. Don't fumble the ball, Goff.
Yeah.
But
one thing about Goff though is like to me, I call him noodle arm because you ever see his throws? They're just kind of the ball just kind of wobbles. It's like what? But he does get it there. He does. People say
he's accurate. He just doesn't have that gunslinger power.
No, he does exactly.
But he knows often. He understands spacing, and that's
I think his best pass was
Ben Johnson. You hit that nail right on the head. Ben Johnson understands what Goff can do, and more importantly, what Goff can't do. And he built that offense around his strengths and tried to shield the weaknesses of him, which is you're never going to see him be mobile.
The best thing you guys did is actually got him back because Ben Johnson, people have left. Oh my God.
He might be bailing out. He's going to be bailing out Dan Campbell, know.
I've had enough of that shit.
So, but we are up against it, man. This is so awesome. I always plan on coming on here between 11 and 12 o'clock on the Eastern time and going for an hour. And we always talk more. I actually have to stop us from talking each and every day.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I appreciate every single person that would watch a talking head in the middle of June about football. And we do this every single weekday. We're going to do it only Tuesday through Friday during the week in the morning because our Monday show is in the evening. So we do the NFC North open mic each and every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Bring your thick skin with that, okay? That's a little bit more trash talky. And you might, this isn't your, this is not a family event in the evening. So like I said, it's a little bit more, I would call it PG-13 to R rating more, where this is PG to PG-13 in the mornings. So I appreciate if you would come out for that. Follow Detroit Lions News, Detroit Lions Villain Squad, Bill the Packer fan, Mike the Bear fan. Subscribe to our YouTube channels because that's how we get out there. That's how we can reach the most people, reach the most avid football fans. For John Dorn and Russell Wayne, this is the main events, NFC North main event. God bless you. We will see you guys on Monday night.